It's nice to do this at scout events. I do it at my family reunion. It's amazing how many people actually know what I'm doing. My name is Jim Wiley, and about 3 hours ago, Michelle asked me to be the MC for this thing. So she sent me a piece of paper with some cryptic scribbles on it and said, follow this outline. She wanted to tell you something about my own recollections of Camp Seif Mac and why we're here. With only a few exceptions, I was camping at Seif Mac before most of you were born. My first year here was 1960. So I've got a lot of really good, strong memories. Right over there was Campsite Conestoga, and that was where Troop 27 from the Grace Methodist Church, which is now supporting Pac 11, that was where we camped. And the interesting fact of that was that when my son was a Webelow, he did his environmental project that he planted all those pine trees over there, and now we can't have a campsite there anymore. And bless the Lord for that, because at noon when the sun got up here, it baked those tents just beyond recognition until it went down over that hill. There also wasn't a lake here then. We just had a stream wandering through here when what was called the dead water of the Yellow Creek, because it wound back and forth through all of this flat land. And we did polar bear swim down below what we know today as Lakefront Lodge, but back in that day, it was the dining hall. And Lord only knows some of the food we ate down there in the dining hall over those years. So I welcome you all for what Michelle is going to make a great announcement. I'm going to introduce to you our former council president, Bernie Lockard, and tell you that 22 years ago, Bernie, we went to Philmont. And Bernie passed all the physicals and all the mental stuff, and he got for his check-in at Philmont, and he had to sit in the medical area until he grew 3 inches because he was a few pounds over the weight limit for his height.
You're done.
I'm out of here.
That was trustworthy, right?
Absolutely.
Actually, it was high blood pressure. Drank about a pot of coffee before that. But anyhow, I passed eventually.
Yes, you
I
did.
was able to go out there, so that was a good time. Jim didn't say that. I was in Troop 29 as well.
27.
27 rather.
We wouldn't have let you in 29.
I wouldn't have wanted in 29. 29's always had this reputation. But I was in 27 as well, but I'm so much younger than him that we were never in it at the same time.
We're camping together.
But interestingly, our scoutmaster at the time,
Carl Steele or Everett Reed.
his great-grandchildren, 2 of them, were in the troop that I was scoutmaster of Troop 11 up until recently. They both left the program, but it was kind of neat that we had these multiple generations of one family that was in that troop, or at least in that troop sponsored by that same organization in there. So that was kind of neat. So appreciate everyone coming out here tonight, and we have some really exciting things to talk about. But before we talk about the exciting stuff, I want to just kind of give you some updates on some things that are going on out here. Anybody here know about the water problems we've had out here? Yeah. Raise your hand. Okay. Water to the tune of a $14,000 water bill. Okay, with all the leaking that was going on around here, and at one point in time, for most of the time that we've been here at this camp, the water was supplied by the state. The state had their own system. We really didn't pay for the water, so we didn't care about the leaks. And then the state switched to Pennsylvania Municipal Services, right?
Indiana County Municipal
Indiana
Services.
County, yeah.
Municipal Services.
And we got a meter, and then we got a bill. So obviously that caused us a bunch of problems at this camp.
Couldn't buy enough, chlorine to keep the system operational.
Yeah. So anyhow, we have better water out here now, but we still have water leaks going on out here. And we've worked with municipal services, and they've abated part of the bill, or a big chunk of the bill, I guess. Where's Todd at? Pretty big chunk of the bill, that $14,000 was abated by.
Correct.
But
Thankfully.
it's forcing us to make a bunch of changes out here, and it forced us to cancel some events out here, which really cost us a bunch of revenue. And so we're working hard to fix that. See, I don't know how many groups do we lose out here, you know?
So Michelle, I don't,
We've probably lost about 4 different groups that usually come out here.
Yeah.
smaller
so-
groups that we just couldn't support.
So, you know, we're committed to fixing that, and you know, I know there's been a lot of concern about the future of this camp and what's going to happen to it. And really, if you look at the number of boy hours or man hours or however you want to look at it on this property, there's more today than there's been for years and years and years out here, even when we still operated the 4 weeks of summer camp out here. So that's good. We also have roof and infrastructure needs out here. You know, in addition to the piping, there's lots of roofs out here. There's different things that have to be done out here. And so the property's not free to us to continue to operate. We've got to be spending some money on this out here. You know, do you want to talk about the state money, or
I want you to talk about it.
what was the number? I need,
7.5.
Well, for here,
so this,
it was 3/4. It was 7.
so, yeah, so I think you might have seen an announcement that the state was out here about 6 weeks ago, and they have allocated money to this state park. Part of that money is going to go into fixing the water system, and particularly here at the camp, and that number is $750,000 that's coming from the state for us to be, for part of it to be used to fix the water system here at the camp. So that's great news for us, and it really gives new life to this camp, because without that, I'm not sure where we would have found the money to Band-Aid together what we have to continue operating. So that's pretty important to us. So May 4th of 2021 was a couple days after Todd was hired to run Lower Highlands Council. And one of his first tasks was to come out here and meet with you all. And I'm not sure how many of you were here, but the message was clear. And they said you wanted some kind of a program here at Camp Steve Mac. I'm trying to follow the notes here. I'm like Jim. I was recruited to do this. Well, you saw he handed me the piece of paper out here. Do you want me to? Where do you want me to go with this? Do you want to
Michelle? I'm not the air traffic controller.
Well, let me just say this. You'll let me make the announcement. You ready for me to announce what we're doing here?
You can, yes, it's time for the announcement.
Yep. Sorry for the lack of continuity here. But like I said, Todd was out here a little over 2 years ago, and heard loud and clear that you wanted to have a program out here at this camp. And so we're inviting you all here tonight to announce that we will be having a 1-week program here next summer.
24.
24, sorry.
That was a pucker moment. 24.
24. We tried to get 23, but Todd wouldn't do it, so it's Todd's fault that we don't, right?
Yeah, blame the guy. Blame the scout executive.
Anyhow, we're going to give you a lot more details on this, and I'm going to turn it over to Michelle, I guess, to fill in some details on it.
So thank you, first of all, everyone, for coming out tonight. There are new faces and some old friends who I've seen here tonight, and that's absolutely fantastic. It's great to have everyone here at camp and have the beautiful image of the lake behind us as our backfall for this evening. At this time, I would like to introduce the folks who are I don't want to spearheading, I guess, maybe I can say that. That's a fair term. The plans for Camp Steve Mac in 2024, Doug Schmidt and Mark Brenneman. So if you two could please come up.
Can we just stay
Or
here?
you can stay there. That's fine. Well, everybody can hear you.
Just back away in case someone throws something.
That's why he's here. He's
Remember,
my
if you're close, you
bodyguard.
volunteer. I'm the human shield. So, hi everybody. I'm Mark Brenneman. I'm not. I haven't camped here as long ago as some of the folks here, but I camped here at Steve Mac for the first time in 1988,
with my troop, and we were over kind of about where the shower house is now. And so that was the first time I was here. The next time I was here was October 22nd, 1999, which was the day that I first met my lovely wife, Michelle, over in Hopkins Lodge. So, and I've been back, numerous times with my troop, with my kids, and so, this camp holds a special place in my heart, and I'm honored to be able to be a part of bringing a week-long resident camping experience back here. I would like to introduce you to my friend Doug Schmidt, and he will tell you a little about himself.
Well, all honesty and fairness, I don't have the experience that most all of you have. I never camped here as a youth. My experience with this camp started in 2022. No, that would be now. I don't know. Anyway, I was wood badge coordinator for Laurel Highlands, and at that time we had Twin Echo. And in the middle of my developmentals, I found out that Twin Echo was gone, and I'd be moving here. For anyone who's done any type of planning to all of a sudden have to switch courses, switch rails and go from one camp to another with a whole new course, it was a little stressful, but I'm glad I did. I love the camp. Since then, I did wood badge here. I've been involved in NYLT here for a couple years now. I've been involved in the council camporee that we do in the summer, and it's a great camp. I love it here. It's a little bit of a drive for me, but I do enjoy coming out. I've been here a lot now, and it's a great camp, and I'm looking forward to putting on a new and exciting program here. So with that, I think we could talk about what we are looking to do. So as...
Go ahead.
Okay. Start in 2024, we would like to create a new adventure experience for the youth. So we're looking to create a new camp, a new program for the youth that is more than just your standard week-long summer camp. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, what is that? So I'd like to take elements of leadership camp, elements of high adventure camp, take the elements of a themed weekend camporee, sprinkle in those bookwork / merit badges and all of that, and have things centered more along the actual activities that they do as opposed to sitting down and doing a class schedule. Some of the things come along with this. They're not going to come out with 10 merit badges. They may only come out with a handful, 2 or 3. But it's going to be the adventure. It's going to be, when they're done with this camp, I want them to start spreading the news to all their friends, to all the other scouts they know, that this is an exciting camp to come to. It's not just your standard, hey, we have a day-long adventure or a day-long course schedule. We did all this cool stuff, and I want to go back next year because I want to do this other adventure now, and I want to do this other adventure. And of course these adventures have to be, properly skilled for the youth. So there'll be adventures that are for just the new youth, the ones that haven't been at camp before. There'll be adventures from the old youth so that everyone can stay excited and motivated to come back here year after year. And so I alluded to the fact that I want to take a theme from Weekend Camporees and make it as part of the actual week-long camp. So the theme that we're going to go with is going to be the J. Cephas Mack Center for Sasquatch Research.
That would explain.
That would explain the Sasquatch walking along the lake.
Our Sasquatch friend.
Wait, was there a squash sighting? Full circle.
Do we already have a sighting already? Wow.
Yeah, and somebody was chasing after him.
Well, hopefully people don't mistake the Sasquatch for a bear and start chasing that. Okay.
That's what we need to get is for the bear to run.
Yeah, really.
When we were here for NYLT, a big black bear came out of the woods over there and ran right through where we're standing right now as scouts were like fixing dinner and stuff. It ran right across here and over the campfire. And we have video. What was I supposed to talk about?
Where we go from here. And
Oh yes, the future. So, hopefully, we're going to be available up in the dining hall after we're done here to answer questions as best we can. We're still in the very early planning stages, so there are a lot of details that we haven't worked out yet, but we're interested in hearing feedback from everybody and learning how you feel about this, assuming that people get on board for this and it goes well the first time. We have lots of opportunities to expand the program and grow it into multiple weeks, to bring in more staff and create more adventures as time goes by. So, we have some ideas. We're still looking for more ideas. So please share your thoughts. We have created a Facebook page, which is Camp CFMAC Adventure Base. We're going to work on expanding our social media presence as we go forward as well. Like you guys, we're just kind of getting started with this and getting our feet under us. So we do have that one point of contact for the moment, and we will work on expanding from there. And finally, we want to thank our Scout executive, Todd McGregor, for having the vision to make this happen. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So if I could say just in closing, whenever these two councils merged, there was concern about the future of this camp and what was going to happen. And there was a lot of folks upset over losing the summer camp experience here. And there's a lot of reasons why that happened. And the reasons are pretty deep. But there's always been this desire to have some kind of a week-long program going here, and here's your chance to do it. And Norm Krumenacher and I are both on the council board, and we've been advocates of having a program like this brought back to this camp. And the board is is glad to have the opportunity to try something again. But I got to tell you, it's up to all of us here to support this program and make it work, because there's been a lot of discussion and work going into getting some kind of a program here that makes sense, both programmatically, whatever, and financially, and that's what I think we have here. Like these two said, it's not your typical summer camp experience, and we don't want it to become a typical summer camp experience. When you go to Philmont, you go and you hike for a week. You're not really working on advancement and merit badges. You're working on nature. Okay, when you go to the northern tier, you're canoeing for the week. You're not coming to classes every day and learning things. And that's what we're trying to create here, a place for youth to come and get some adventure at a price that's considerably less than one of the major high adventure bases that the Boy Scouts has out there. So that's what this is all about, and I think it's important for us to sell this to all our youth out there and to get this participation to a great level. It's really important that happens. That's the message we need to send the Board of Directors of the Laurel Highlands Council, that we, the ones that are closest to this camp, support this camp, and one way we're going to support it is to participate in programs like Squatch Camp. Do you want to add something?
Well, not really. You gave my speech. You forgot the rest of the script. Anyhow, I'm Norm Krumenacher, and I'm not going to tell you about my scouting here. You'll have to talk to my cohort in crime, Paul Miller, because we brought Troop 217 and all our entourage here for a long, long time. And I'm not going to, you know, if you want the dirty, nitty-gritty detail of the debate about camps within the Laurel Highlands, you'll have to talk to Bernie, because I about had a gasket blown a while back. Anyhow, my point and my part tonight is this. You say, hey, 2024 is a long way. What are you hauling us out here in, last of September in 22? Well, we want to make sure you understand that there is a huge commitment coming through the Laurel Highlands Council for this property. And I'm going to tell you, I've had the honor for at least 3 jamborees, maybe 4, I'm going to say 3 national jamborees to work with Todd. And I'm going to tell you, when he became our Scout executive, there was nobody in Western Pennsylvania, and I'm going to say nobody, more excited than I was. Because he's all about program. And he's all about the kids. And now we have a friend, not only for CFMAC, but for programming throughout this council. The opportunity is here. And all of you know that success for a program is part of participation. Now, my spiel to you tonight is, Michelle's going to give you a little card that's going to ask for you to either tonight or to go back and talk to your kids and parents and try to think about making a commitment to us early on to say, hey, we are definitely interested in this deal. We're definitely interested in looking at program here at this property in 2024. You say 2024, Norm, why 2024? Folks, we got new water lines to put in. We got roofs to put on. We got infrastructure to update and make it a quality experience for the kids that you love, the kids you represent, the kids you give up your free time to make sure they have an opportunity. So I'm beating you over the head, because when Bernie and I go back to that board, we want to be able to say the efforts and insight of Todd McGregor, Michelle, everybody here, that we have support, that this is a piece of property that is loved and has a future. I mean, I can give you a big spiel about how many gallons of coffee this man drinks in a day when he's in camp, okay? But I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about the future. And you're the future to make this happen. So that's the end of my spiel, because I need a hamburger, okay? You can see I'm fading away already. You know, I think back with Jay Rubin and all the good times we had here and carrying on. And he was just back there, and Bernie was making some comments, and he whispered in my ear, and you know Jay's wit. He says, yeah, that's right. He says, if we're going to succeed with Bigfoot, we got to have little steps to get to the Bigfoot. And that's so right. That is so right. So let's start making those little steps on the infrastructure. And I want you to make a commitment to bring your kids here. I want you to think about it. I really sincerely want you to do. In 6 months, then I want $1,000 from each of you so I can put some new roofs on. But in all sincerity, and Bernie can back us, Jay can back it, you know. Come on, head up, head up. It's not gonna cost you that much. Okay?
He said $1,000.
No, I got one for him. If you show us that our kids are going to support this effort to put life into this camp, we'll raise the money. Okay? We'll get the money. But we need your help to show the interest. That's all I have to say. Now, I don't have the script. Anybody else to shoot their mouth off?
I actually have something I want to say.
Come on up.
If nobody minds.
Hey, Judge.
So for anybody who doesn't know me, my name's Sean Cole.
Hey!
Sean, just one
Hi,
second.
Sean.
You forgot to ask one question. Who's coming? Who's gonna bring your troops?
Heck yeah!
You got
I'll be collecting your commitment cards momentarily.
Just to see who's coming.
You can't have
That's all I want.
You can't have 1,000, but I'll give you some labor. Okay, so anybody who doesn't know me, my name's Sean Cole. I've been at Yellow Creek since 2014. I'm the maintenance supervisor there. I'm the caretaker at the camp since 2016. I have a slightly different perspective than everybody else. Because I was born in California, so I had no association with the camp, really, until I came to the park. When I became the caretaker, summer camp was going on, and it's infectious. All the energy, everything, very infectious, which included myself. Summer camp went away, and you could feel the collective energy slowly just drain away. The last couple of years, it's been bad, and it's been noticeable amongst everybody. Today, right now, I've said it since I got here tonight, the energy that I'm feeling from everybody tonight is the most positive, infectious energy I've felt at this camp in years. And keep it up. Keep it up. It's so rejuvenating. It's so, I love it. And I can't wait to see, I got lots of ideas for you two.
Can't wait to hear them.
So you say that now, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, bravo for everybody. Todd, I mean, everybody keeps patting you on the back, but you're the man at the top, so, too much credit, too much blame. But at this moment, you take the credit while it's coming at you, because eventually that roller coaster will probably switch gears.
It does, daily, hourly.
But it's very, very refreshing, so. And,
Thank you. So let me finish up and then we can go eat. Are we ready to eat?
Yep.
So let me say just a few things, right? So May 2nd, second day on the job, 2021, I came out here under the OA Pavilion and talked to a bunch of folks. And I heard what you said. And what's really interesting, right? I was the big ugly guy from Pittsburgh. All of then I'd been in Pittsburgh one day. Right? And for the record, I grew up in an area that looks a lot more like this than it does like Pittsburgh, right? So I'm really kind of the homeless guy. And what I heard was you love your camp. What I really heard was your kids don't have a relationship with any of their camps. And that saddens me. Right? So as a scoutmaster who took kids to their camp for 13 years, I know how important that is. If this is what we've got to do, then this is the first little step to the big foot, to get a relationship that your kids can have with one of their camps, then we're prepared to do it. And as Bernie and Judge said, it doesn't happen without you guys coming. It just doesn't. In 2024 is because there's no money deposited at any other camp. There's no excuse. No excuse to not come and show that you love your camp. So we're gonna go in for dinner, but before we do, I'm gonna say hip hip. You're gonna say huzzah because Judge bought us dinner tonight. Are we ready?
Yes.
Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Michelle, break us for dinner.
So, all right. So let's do. Since we're a bunch of scouters here,
First
Philmont
one
Grace.
gets to eat first.
Philmont Grace, and then we go eat. Okay. So if you all will join me. So.